Stories.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Burner back with another one. Alright, I'm going to talk about a case that is crazy. Like, extreme crazy. Okay? There was this dude, they used to call him Rooster, or as you guys will hear him referred to as Eric Millerberg, was an Aryan gang member. Now, I'm not going to drop what gang he's from because I actually respect some of the people that are still in it very highly, and I'm not trying to throw dirt on their hood at all. Let's get that out there. Okay, but I'm going to react to this, and I'm going to show you guys about some crazy shit that happened in Ogden, Utah. So let me break it down to you a little bit. Rooster, or Eric as they refer to him, was he hired a babysitter one day, okay? And her name was Alexis. He hired her, him and his wife. At this time, they were doing decent for themselves. They had an alright size house, and they were chilling. She was a nurse, and he was just I can't remember what kind of job he had. He worked some kind of job though, but his wife was a nurse, and they hired Alexis to come do some babysitting. Well, they ended up getting her high on opiates, and she ended up ODing. But in the mix of it, some sexual stuff was thrown in the mix. A bunch of weird shit happened, and she passed away. Well, Eric and his wife went and hid the body, okay? And they were later caught for it. So I'm going to get into this. I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit. As of right now, this dude is severely checked in the Utah State prison system. He got stabbed up at least 20-something times. As soon as he hits the yard again, eventually he'll hit the yard again, I'm pretty sure. But he's going to get stabbed up again. And so for everybody that's listening to this right now, just know that he is a piece of shit. And he has been stabbed up multiple times for it. So I'm going to get into it. Just check it out, y'all.
With Crime Patrol.
This is crazy.
Like a lot of people her age, 16-year-old Alexis Rasmussen turned to babysitting to earn money for clothes and hanging out with friends. In September of 2011, she was hired to watch a married couple's 2 children while they went out on a date. Plans changed, and Alexis didn't babysit that night. This is Alexis Rasmussen's story.
And I want to start this out by saying rest in peace to Alexis and her family. I'm pretty sure this video was uploaded by one of them. And I'd advise you guys to go watch the whole video. But shout out to Alexis. I'm sorry you went through what you went through, and I hope that you're resting in peace in heaven. I just want to say that straight up. She was only 16. A child's life was taken. It's a fucking tragic event, man.
Alexis was going to make a difference in the world, her mother, Dawn, said. Alexis loved to dance, read, shop, and spend time with her family and friends. She loved her family and was especially close to her brother, who was her best friend. While looking at the various pictures of Alexis, it's obvious by that infectious smile that she was an outgoing girl and probably a lot of fun to be around. Dia Millerberg, 38, and Eric Millerberg, 36.
So that's his lady. That's the one that was the nurse. She was the nurse. This is her on the stand.
Were a married couple that both had various criminal convictions against them. In 2011, they were each on probation for their crimes. The Millerbergs lived in North Ogden, Utah, about 50 miles north of the capital, Salt Lake City. The air was crisp with the season of autumn on September 10, 2011, when the couple hired Alexis to babysit their 2 children. Alexis texted her mother at 11:30 to let her know that the Millerbergs were still out. Her mother told her to spend the night since it was so late. That was the last communication she ever had with Alexis. Alexis began babysitting for the Millerbergs in spring of 2011.
This is Rooster. This is Eric Millerberg, okay? He usually has a longer red beard, okay? And, but this definitely, he looks tweaked the fuck out in this picture for sure. But he usually has a longer red beard.
11. The three became friends and would drink and smoke marijuana together. Alexis was curious about harder drugs, and when she expressed this to the couple,
And to any piece of shit that gets somebody on drugs at that young of an age, you deserve to be in prison for the rest of your life.
they introduced her to meth and heroin. This evolved into Alexis being paid with meth for watching the Millerberg children. Alexis was expected home the next day, September 11th, and when she didn't arrive, her mother Dawn called the police to report her missing. While this investigation was ongoing, Eric had been sentenced for a parole violation for 0 to 5 years and was sent to prison. When police questioned Alexis's friends, they were uncooperative. It is speculated that this was due to their own questionable behavior, or perhaps they didn't want to get Alexis in trouble. As it turns out, these friends were aware of the payment arrangements Alexis had with the Millerbergs.
So, the city I'm from, Ogden, Utah, there's a lot of meth. It's like a really big, like some cities are known for heroin, some cities are known for meth. We're really big in, I would say both, but meth is the main thing that takes over the city. And shit like this happens all the time. Okay, people paid in meth to do shit. Bad drugs are out there. There's fentanyl and a lot of things. So I'd advise anybody that's actually in that lifestyle still to be careful. And if you're going to do what you do, then that's on you. But make sure you know what you're putting inside you.
It was common knowledge amongst the neighbors and friends of Alexis that the couple had also hired other teens for babysitting with similar arrangements. Police were receiving tips about sightings of Alexis, so they were treating the case as a missing person. The Millerbergs were questioned, and they told the police that Alexis left their house at 11:30 to meet a friend after they went to bed. Officers noted that during the interview with Dia, she appeared to be on a stimulant due to her uncontrollable movements.
So the bitch was all whacked out pretty much. She was high on dope when they questioned her.
The friend who Alexis supposedly met was questioned, and he never saw Alexis that night. They did text throughout the night, however. A month into the investigation, a confidential informant came forward and informed the police of the whereabouts of Alexis. On this particular night, sometime after Alexis arrived at the Millerberg home, Eric injected her once with heroin and twice with meth.
Now you guys ask me what's a piece of shit. Now that's a piece of shit. That is a certified piece of shit right there. Let's get that straight.
Alexis would later be described as being ecstatic because this was the highest she had ever been. Eric told friends that he and Alexis performed oral sex on one another. Dia
So he's a child molester, as you guys know.
would also testify in court later on that the three attempted to engage in sexual activity, but they were all too high. As the night wore on, it was evident that
This video disgusts me, bro. And you know what's crazy is I didn't know her personally, but I did, bro. I know people that know her. I saw her around. Like, this is crazy because this case is a little bit old.
Alexis was having a bad reaction to the drugs. She was cold and disoriented, so the couple placed her in the tub. They claimed that she wanted to be left alone, so they went outside to smoke a cigarette. When they came back in to check on her, she was still cold, so Dia wrapped her in a blanket and put her in their bed. Again, they left her alone to go smoke a cigarette.
Let me give you guys a little bit of advice. If someone ODs around you, I'm not trying to... Shit happens, but don't ever leave them alone. Always directly supervise them, okay? Because shit happens and people die, okay? So don't be scared to call 911. Don't be scared to be with them. You know, shit happens. A life is worth more than whatever you guys are fearing at that certain time. So don't ever leave someone alone if they're ODing or you even think they are. Don't ever, ever, ever.
Told Dia that they needed to let her chill out. The next time the couple checked on her, she was unresponsive and had what was described as mucousy stuff coming out of her mouth. Dia was a nurse and she attempted to resuscitate Alexis, but it was far too late for that. Alexis was dead. Fear gripped the couple as they were both on parole for various crimes, and Eric is said to have belonged to a white supremacist group. They didn't want to go back.
As you guys would know if you watched the beginning of this video, I explained that.
Back to prison and didn't want to risk losing their children. Eric called two friends to bring a car.
Losing your children, bro? You don't even deserve to have kids, you sick fuck. What's wrong with you?
To his house to help him get rid of something. He also told them not to ask any questions. Neither of the friends wanted to get involved. I speculate that Eric wanted help so that Dia could stay home with the couple's children. Dia dressed Alexis and the couple put her body in the trunk of their car. The couple brought the infant with them and left the 6-year-old toddler at home alone while they drove to another county in a remote area and dumped her body in the woods. Eric Peanut Smith was the confidential informant that knew exactly where Alexis was. He knew this because he helped Eric move her decomposing body to a more remote location sometime after she had been dumped. On October 18th, 38 days after she went missing, the police found the body of Alexis. She was found with her legs folded.
At least they found her, that's all that matters.
Against her in a fetal position, her lower half stuffed into a garbage bag. Smith was not charged for his part in the crime in exchange for his information. Search warrants were served and affidavits revealed to the police the phone calls Eric made to friends that night asking for help in getting rid of something. Surveillance cameras showed that on the night Alexis was babysitting, Dia and her went to a pharmacy at 10:20 to pick up a prescription. Together, they sold some prescription drugs to some of Alexis's friends that night as well. Human blood was found in the couple's home where a portion of carpet had been removed. Investigators also located a car the Millerbergs sold to someone in another county. Carpet from the trunk had been removed. Eric Smith, the informant, also told police that Eric told him Alexis asked him to shoot her up that night and that she wanted a threesome with the couple. Once all this information came to...
She's fucking 16, bro. What? Damn, my own videos be pissing me off, bro.
Together, the Millerbergs were arrested for the murder of Alexis. By this time, not only was Eric already in jail, Dia was too, for 2 felony counts of falsely obtaining a prescription. Eric was charged with child abuse homicide, a first-degree felony, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony, and unlawful sexual activity with a minor, and abuse and desecration of a human body, both third-degree felonies. Dia took a plea deal in exchange for her testimony and only being charged with obstruction of justice and abuse and desecration of a body. The trial for Eric began in March of 2014 and he pleaded not guilty. Dia testified to the court that she picked Alexis up that night to babysit, but instead they all got high. Eric injected Alexis with the drugs 3 times, once being in the neck, and that the 3 tried to engage in sexual activity but were unable to due to being so high. The prosecutor would later state that her testimony provided them with valuable information.
If it makes you guys feel any better, this piece of shit has been stabbed up multiple times. Let me repeat that. This piece of shit has been stabbed up multiple times.
That allowed the case to be solved. The medical examiner, Dr. Joseph White, testified that Alexis had 7 times the lethal amount of meth and high levels of heroin in her system. He stated that these were significant amounts, certainly enough to explain her death. Other possibilities couldn't be ruled out, such as strangulation, blunt force trauma, or stabbing, due to her body being so decomposed. Because of this, He listed the manner of death as undetermined. The defense didn't call any witnesses, and Eric didn't testify. The testimony presented was difficult for Alexis's family and friends who filled the front row of the courtroom. They wept as witnesses testified, and when the Weber County prosecutor, D. Smith, showed a picture of Alexis smiling while holding her little sister, followed by the photo of her after she was discovered dumped in the woods. He closed by saying what Eric Millerberg did to Alexis was deplorable, supplying an underage girl with drugs on several occasions and even bragging about it to his cellmates. He cited laws that are put into place meant to protect young impressionable teens prone to experimenting and making mistakes when they aren't with their parents. Ordinary people don't inject little girls with heroin and methamphetamine, Smith said.
That's facts.
You don't have sex with 16-year-olds when you're
That's facts.
a month away from turning 36. You don't look for dates with juniors in high school.
That's facts.
Defense attorney Randall Marshall stated in closing arguments that the case against Eric Millerberg is based on lies by Dia Millerberg meant to protect herself. Dia Millerberg told a great story, but it doesn't add up, he said. He said there's no evidence other than Dia Millerberg's account to prove Eric Millerberg injected Rasmussen with the drugs. How do we know Dia didn't shoot her up herself? Marshall said. He reminded jurors that the state medical examiner stopped short of declaring Alexis's cause of death was a drug overdose. Marshall also suggested to the jury that Dia Millerberg was responsible for the death and recruited her husband to help her dump the body. The jury deliberated for 2 hours before finding Eric Millerberg guilty on all counts.
That's how it should be, too.
At sentencing, which was held later that month, Millerberg's attorney argued that the man's sentences on each count should run concurrently to...
That's crazy. That's actually... So this is actually him right here. I could tell by the tattoos. Like I said, I haven't seen this dude in years before this shit even happened, but I'm pretty sure that's actually him, too. That's crazy.
One another because all of the crimes occurred during one criminal episode, adding that Alexis's death was an accident. He also argued that Millerberg's wife should shoulder some of the blame for the girl's death. All the blame now rests on Mr. Millerberg for this death, Marshall said. That by itself hardly seems fair. He's essentially being saddled with all of the burden, all the responsibility for Lexi's death.
Long story short, guys, I'm going to cut it a little bit short, but dude's a piece of shit. Okay, he got what he deserved. Actually, he hasn't. I think that dude should lose his life, but that's just my opinion. Okay? But, yeah, y'all, I just wanted to break this down for you because this is kind of a story, like I said, it's from my hometown, and it was kind of a big thing. Everybody asked me if I ever have seen big cases in Utah. I just wanted to get this out here because I feel like people are forgetting about it, and I think this piece of shit's name needs to be out here more in the media, and I want people to remember who this dude was. I don't think he ever has a chance to get now. He has life, but every once in a while we should drop him a letter and let him know how big of a piece of shit he is. His name's Eric Millerberg. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate you tuning into the video. I know it's a pretty crazy video, but I hope you enjoyed the educational purpose of it. And to anybody struggling in addiction, just seek the right help, and everything will get better. I've been in that lifestyle, and I can prove to you guys that shit will get better. But much love, y'all.
Dep